It's another week in the For Your Reference household, but it's Power August though, T.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh-hoo-hoo. Yeehaw! I'm so excited. Welcome, friends and lovers, to Power August, where we'll catch you up on all the offerings in this multi-faceted power universe.
Mm-hmm.
They say this is a big, rich world.
Wow. You're going there, eh?
Well, you're bringing the Dre vibes. Don't think I didn't forget about Dre. Let's get on with the show. Friends, and rest in peace, stay in peace so I can keep some peace, ghost lovers. Welcome back to the For Your Reference podcast. You got your host, Katie.
And OT.
Cement the foundation of truth with the sins of the father being passed down as legacy. Unfurl your cloaks and sharpen your daggers as we cover Power Final Season 6 and Ghost Season 1 and Season 2 this week. Ooh. Are you ready for a ghost revolution?
Wow. Readier than Cock Franklin, bro.
Wow. Friends and lovers, spoilers. I just lost the love of my life. I just lost the love of my life. I just lost the love of my fucking life.
Wow.
Shout outs to Yo. Colby told me to go and check out his guested Our Power 2+ hours recap of the first 5 seasons and also I think the first part of season 6.
Correct.
So go and check that out. This power universe has continued, fuck a Thanos. I'm all about the 50 Cent snaps and the Courtney A. Kemp snaps because the offerings of this universe have been so ongoing, especially in an uncertain production release sort of world. We didn't know when to have a clean break so we can start to cover the shows that have come out. And we're like, fuck it. It's Power August, motherfuckers.
Yeah, we just got to dive in.
But not Trey songs because that theme song got written out. Joe is the main course R&B singer forever. Thank you very much. So I think a nice way to capture both of the shows is, because the Ghost kind of naturally flows on from the end of Power. So let me get into general stats and information. And for those playing at home, don't worry, friends. We have a Raising Kanan and a Force on the cards as well. Creators in regards to Power, obviously Courtney A. Kemp as well as Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, if you're nasty. The Power Season 6 was released in August of 2019. Omari Hardwick. Enough time has passed for me to love the man, OT.
Wow.
Enough time has passed. Although we did watch some recap clips of Ghost and I still if there's an embodiment of toxic masculinity, it's Ghost in every episode, and it was OT and Colby in our Power episode.
Yeah, because I think you're wrong.
I don't want to hear your thoughts about Tasha. I've heard enough. Thank you very much. Joseph Shakora, Natari Norton, Lila Loren, and Michael Rainey Jr. coming out of the ranks, forever loving splooshes in our hearts, forever. In regards to Ghost Season 1 and 2, we continue on with Courtney A. Kemp. She's also going to be over at Netflix, so I'm very excited to see what the offerings will be there.
Oh, for sure.
Released in September of 2020, Season 1, Michael Rainey Jr., Gianna Paolo, Shane Johnson. Al Sachs has been in every episode of Power, can you believe?
Wow.
He's a slippery snake.
Yeah.
But he's the cute sort of snake that you would want to keep in your bed chambers, right?
I thought he'd get the Proctor treatment ages ago. He's just slippery as.
If I can lend a phrase from Russ from Silicon Valley, Sachs forks.
He does.
Who knew he had that body yaddy? Between Method Man and Laz Alonso, thank you very much. Wow. And also Redman. Shout out to Redman, Method Man, Laz Alonso, and also No more pain, no more drama, friends and lovers. Mary J. Blige is in the building. Wow. What gravitas. And this isn't the first time we've covered Mary J. Blige on the podcast.
Yeah, I think Umbrella Academy.
As well as 30 Rock. Thank you very much.
Wow, yeah.
You're welcome. So there's a general stats and information that this is such a rich world. Friends and lovers, when we talk about loving and lauding penmanship in television, and in any case with the quality of television, we're also talking about cinema. Power is absolutely should be on the books. We talk about Power, we talk about Snowfall. Like, these shows deserve to be day in, day out, week in, week out, all of the discourse.
They should. I think what Courtney A. Kemp has done in building this universe for us, one that I was skeptical of, just because when it comes to Ghost, we'll talk more about it. But wow,
But the crew has it.
It does. They do.
Not that they need any promo, but Michael Rainey Jr. and Gianni Paolo, they have a new podcast that just came out called The Crew Has It. And what's really cool about it, I really enjoyed Courtney A. Kemp's episode in particular. And there was a lot of talking about the world building as well. But, we love and we sploosh at Courtney A. Kemp and everyone that's involved in the Power universe's altar. Absolutely. So, Power Season 6, we're going to, we absolutely want to talk about all of the facets leading to who shot you. Mm-hmm. We know who shot him, but we're going to get to that. Obviously, we already said spoilers. I want to talk about that. But are there any sort of morsels, any sort of lingering feelings and feelings that you might have had for the final season before we wrap it up and go into Ghost?
No, I think I was happy with how everything ended. I was sure that, we had all foreseen or thought what's going to happen. The only thing I'd wished for season 6 was for Ghost to walk out,
Come on now. Come on. Like, how many genre in the drug game and the gaming the game, how many have we covered? Without spoiling, if I even mentioned The Wire, whoever was in The Wire that was trying to go legit, it didn't end in their favor. If we talk about Snowfall, whoever decided to want to go legit, it never ended up in their favor.
I know, but break the mold. Break the mold.
The chokehold that Ghost has on you, my love.
Tasha's chokehold.
Whoa. Wow. That early, hey?
Facts.
All right.
Well, if everyone behaved in a certain way and we got to see Ghost pursuing that life, maybe we don't get to see Tariq develop the way he does.
Man, we'll talk about Tariq obviously a lot more when we talk about Ghost, but he was like the most hated character. Granted, he was a kid, and we now looking back at it, given the fact that Ghost was his father, he definitely should have been lended a bit more graces. He was a fucking hateable motherfucker.
He was. I don't think I'd say that because Ghost was his father, that's why what made him hateable.
Don't you do it.
He was such a hateable kid. You're allowed to have a hateable kid.
No.
But we come to see character development and growth in Tariq.
You really thought you were smooth just then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously though, I think everything that happened, or whatever Tariq did, it got him to a point where he got to grow. I think take out all that bullshit, it doesn't end up like that.
Okay.
I think Ghost played a pivotal role in trying to mold him to be a better person, and he didn't want that.
You really watched a different TV show, didn't you?
Ghost never wanted the life with Tariq, and we saw Tasha coming to a point where she's like, you know what, I'm going to teach you the game.
Yeah, because it was inevitable, bruv.
And then put that whole blame on Ghost.
You think Brayden's not going to learn however these fucking rich white people get their rich white money?
He is, but they're not going to walk him down the fucking aisle explaining it to him.
Yeah, because you don't need to. Do you know the world we live in? Okay, well, all right. Well, now we're doing if you'll pardon the pun, post-mortem on Ghost. You keep saying he's this lovely, doting father, not necessarily a great husband. But is there anything that you felt, that you're like, man, that's out of line, Ghost?
No, I think I agreed with everything he did.
Say you're on sweaty, damp corners of the internet without saying you're on sweaty, damp corners of the internet, you fucking incel.
When he died, I lost the love of my life, bro.
Well, can you go and find her and leave me alone then? I need peace.
Don't worry, Omari, we're coming.
I think he was imagining more Angela.
Yeah, I'm saying I lost the love of my life when this happened.
Oh, well, there you go. Enough time has passed. I'm still a bit frustrated, but I kind of do want to rewatch Power just to live in the glory again. What I will say, because I know one of my quarrel and quandaries with a lot of characters are them not tying loose ends, right? I even referenced Snowfall earlier. Like, sometimes you need to tie those loose ends, or also just don't be surprised when those loose ends come and try and tie your ends. Like, it's just the game gaming the game at that point, right? So I did appreciate the boldness that Ghost had, in that if he felt that you were a threat in any way, although he felt that about his son, but that's a different conversation. But if he felt that, even if you're a periphery, not even like a tertiary secondary character, like even if you're just in the background and you're breathing weird, Ghost is going to eliminate you. And I kind of respected that. What I didn't care for was the whole love of my life nonsense. But anyway. So let's talk about who shot you. We're going to talk a lot about Tariq, so I think we can leave that for when we talk about Ghost. But I do want to go through the remaining 6 of the 7 that was suspected. Some of them I felt were just being thrown into there because there was really just a core of maybe 4 that we genuinely not just thought would have shot Ghost, but we would have been happy with. Because I'm not gonna ruin it, because I don't watch Shame like OT, even if it's decades old. There was a very unsanctimonious, unwarranted killing of a beloved character in The Wire, and it still burns me to this day. So I think there is a lot of there's a lot of feelings as an audience of, even if you didn't like the character, you want them to have a death that was, reflective of the legacy that they leave behind.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Tasha.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be Tasha, to be honest. I think there was a lot too much history behind that, especially after killing Lakeisha. I knew her string was sort of at the end.
Yeah.
No more killing for her. I know she still has it in her, but nah, I didn't buy it for a second. You?
I think, as fucked up as their marriage was, time and time again, Tasha has shown up, or had shown up, for Ghost in moments that never served her. She was always going to bat for Ghost. And I think, as much hurt as Ghost inflicted on her, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, OT, there was always a part of Tasha that was never going to cross that line of no return, whether it be death or whether it would be, detrimentally, hurting Ghost's chances of going legit. She would never go that far because there's a part of her that still loved him.
And the fact that Ghost was still the father to Tariq and Yaz, she was never going to do that.
Yeah, no. Even though every time Tasha wanted to dabble, wanted to have a little nibble of a little something, and Ghost knew very well that he wasn't seeing Tasha till the end of days, he just had to scrap a motherfucker, and it wasn't fair.
No, there's fair and there's also rubbing it in. When you rub it in, you're actually, I'm fucking Tasha, Nah, he deserved everything he got.
Wow, Silver.
Yeah.
Also Sean.
Ghost had nothing to do with Sean.
I would say killing the lovers is rubbing it in, but I guess we just come from 2 different worlds, my love.
There are people you can peacock to. No Ghost. Nah.
All right, well, let's talk about Tommy. Tommy. My favorite. Mwah. And I love that Force just came out, and we'll obviously pivot to Force when we get to it. Obviously, there was a camaraderie between the two, and even listening back to our Power 2+ hour extravaganza that we did, a lot of us gave praise to one of the best parts of the show was the dynamic between Ghost and Tommy.
Oh, their relationship was really, really good. And I think seeing that sort of diminish throughout the seasons, it was understandable. But it was
because your best friend put Tommy in jail. That's why. In season 2, it was very early.
He had to do that to get him out safely. he was already on the crosshairs. He didn't want to listen to whatever Ghost had to say. He was in the game, not wanting anything outside of that. Understandable, but at the end of the day, Ghost still got him out. You know, he went against Angela to do that, and you know that meant a lot to Ghost.
I didn't know we were entering the Simp Diaries this week, but there you go. Interesting. I didn't for 1 second think that Tommy shot Ghost.
No, because we have a scene where Ghost did try to shoot up Tommy. He shot up Tommy's car.
And and it was a little sort of tension, cliffhanger sort of moment, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if Tommy was to get Ghost, it would be understandable. And I think it would be one of the most acceptable ones, to me at least. You know, like you referenced The Wire, and I was like, yeah, if they did something off the cuff crazy, then I'd be upset. But Tommy, I would have been, yeah, for sure.
But this is what I'm saying, and you know, there's the craving of family. There's the craving of belonging, and Tommy had that. You know, very early in the seasons, you would have Tommy surrounding the family, you know, them having breakfast and him drinking his orange juice. Like, that's something that Tommy always craved, and I'm so glad that got explored in Force. But again, we'll talk about that when we get to Force. But I think that meant more to Tommy than running the streets even, you know?
I think Tommy cares about loyalty more.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think Tommy would ever kill Ghost.
But Ghost has betrayed Tommy so much.
I know.
That I feel like Tommy would have been, you know what?
Nah. Look at the way Kate, his mum, treats him.
Well, that's
giving him that redhead complex.
Yeah, but to me, it just made sense if he was Tommy. I think there was a lot under the bridge for him to justify that shit.
For someone that really understands Ghost's character, it seems like you don't get Tommy at all, because I don't see any scenario where Tommy ever would have killed Ghost. There were moments between him and Tariq where it was a bit touch and go, but when you talk about Tommy and Ghost, they really are, when you think of like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, when you think of Naruto and Sasuke, when you think of like the biggest rivals, Goku and Vegeta, like when you think of the biggest rivals in, you know, storytelling, Ghost and Tommy are one for the books.
Half of those people try to kill each other multiple times.
But that's my point.
Just because they're unsuccessful doesn't mean they didn't want to.
And, you know, there's no point talking about Ghost with you, but I will say, you know, I don't believe Tasha would ever kill Ghost. I don't believe Tommy would ever kill Ghost. But Ghost would absolutely kill Tasha. Ghost would absolutely kill Tommy.
Yeah, Ghost will kill anyone that gets in his way.
Except Angela. I feel like Angela is the only exception, and that's why it hurt so much when Tommy shot Angela.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the worst things to do to Ghost than kill him.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's cover some characters that I didn't really feel like they were going to be, and I probably would have been really mad if they were the ones to pull the trigger on Ghost. Paz.
Yeah, I would have thrown my phone at the TV.
Russell Crowe style or Naomi Campbell?
Naomi Campbell brings the energy, so I'd go with her.
Okay.
But Paz, I get the death of Angela was...
She wasn't core enough.
Yeah, and she has the right to be upset, but she knew, if anything, Ghost would be the last person to do that to Angela.
Yup.
She needs to know that shit.
Yeah.
She brought all the wrong energy and the wrong person. I was like, come on, you keep on insisting it was Ghost up until the very fucking end. I'm like, you can't, after everything they've been through and everything Angela's told you, you should know that would be the last person ever.
She was very emotional. And it's understandable given the fact that she never wanted Angela to be with Ghost, so she blames a lot of that and a lot of Angela's decisions, even though she was a grown woman, but a lot of the decisions on her affiliation and her, you know, sort of trysts. You might call it a relationship, I call it a tryst, with Ghost. But deep down, you're right. Like if she thought about it for a second, deep down, she would know that Ghost would never do that.
Yeah, get that shit out of your system. Like, bro, Angela's a grown-ass woman. She can make whatever decisions she wants, and that energy just fucking sucks. Ugh.
Yeah, I must say, OT, I know you as a well-rounded human, but the venom you have for particular characters, It doesn't take Agatha Christie to tell what sort of characters you get frustrated at. Speaking of characters that we get frustrated at, Dre. Man, I've been living a good life, dipping into all of the power worlds, and I forgot about Dre.
If it was Dre, I would have been angry, but it would be up his fucking wheelhouse.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have the gravitas for me to feel satisfied.
And that's the point. He's a slimy ass. He's been slimy ass throughout. And that's the most slimy thing he could do to end Ghost.
Yeah.
Undeserved and so much like Dre.
Yeah, it's on brand. Absolutely. But you know, like Tariq was right there. Like if it was going to be anyone, I don't know, if you were to ask me leading up to it, and we might have even talked about it in the episode as well, I didn't want that for Tariq, but I think it makes a lot of sense now that we move into like the newer shows. It kind of was the only way to end and to close the chapter on Ghost and to start this legacy.
I see that now, but when it happened, I was fucking pissed.
Because
it
we
might
didn't
as
like
well have
Tariq.
just been Dre.
Because we hated Tariq at the time.
It felt very Kendall. It felt very a kid thinking that he's a gangster just because his dad has showed him a few tricks.
Yeah.
You know, you've been born in the life of a fucking street king, and then you think, oh, it's all mine because, you know.
It's transferable.
Exactly. I'm like,
without the
bruh.
experience. Yeah. Nice Succession reference.
Exactly. I was like, I cannot even fathom this. I was so upset.
For someone that really loved Kendall from Succession, I just want to point out that you're comparing him to a teenager. So I think that's a compliment for Tariq then. Let's finish off the other suspects that we had. Tate. But Ghost did him dirty so many times.
He did him dirty, but I think Tate would have backed out at the very last minute.
Like found a way to like pen a deal or something instead.
Yeah, like I know he can do some shit.
Yeah.
And he's done some shit.
Yeah.
And I think getting one of his series up and running would be really, really cool because I need to know how he became that.
Yeah.
Because he's clamped some bodies.
Yeah. I hope so because we talked about it in our last Power episode, but I'm reading reports that it might have gotten axed. And considering the release that we've had for the shows, I think it might have. But friends and lovers, raise the roof, tell the peeps, because I would love to see a Tate like spin-off.
Oh, yeah. I would say his reasons of wanting to kill Ghost, I just didn't think everything rode on him being a politician. And I think he's done so much for him to risk it all just for Ghost. Especially for him to do it himself.
Yeah.
I can see him hiring someone else to do it. But for him to pull that trigger, nah.
Yeah.
He's too far up there. He's like what Ghost wants to be.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like if Ghost ended up being in the political life, he would not come back down and kill people just because.
I feel like Ghost's end goal would be like Eric Adams. Like that's where he envisions, but he in real life or in the real power life, he's Tate. He's not Eric Adams. I guess the last one to finish off on, surprisingly, according to the credits, Sax has been in every episode of Power.
Wild.
Possibly every episode of Ghost as well. I didn't think it was like, but to be fair, Tommy and Ghost did have him tied up. Like, so maybe Sax is a survivor. From all accounts, Sax is a survivor. And I don't know, maybe you can articulate into words. I kind of respect Sax's game, but I don't respect Dre's. Can you explain why?
It felt very Monster anime when you get Inspector Lunch thinking everything that happens wrong in the world is Tenman's fault. It felt, and I was like, okay, Sax, you need to calm down and look at things objectively. Ghost is shit, but it's not all Ghost. And he had such a hard on. I felt like, okay, you'll justify all that shit that you do to try and get him, but he's still not a killer. He cannot pull that trigger.
No, he's absolutely
I felt like if he went up to that club, he'd find a way to get himself shot.
Yeah. He's like Brett from Archer.
Yeah.
God damn it, Brett.
You're bleeding all over the carpet.
But you're right. Like Sax was very he was like a dog with a bone. Like it didn't matter what it was, he was gonna find a way to get Ghost in jail. He was gonna throw the whole book at him, so to speak. So I guess that's true. But why then is it not we don't respect Dre's game of being a fucking cockroach?
Because Dre is all about himself, while Sax has a cloud of
distorted sense of justice.
Exactly.
All right.
At least you can see Sax is trying to do something right. However fucking clouded it is.
Yeah.
With Dre, it's fucking self-serving at its best.
True.
He doesn't care about anyone else.
True.
He doesn't even care about his daughter. He fucking killed someone with a daughter just being there.
Yeah.
Nah, come on. Even Ghost would never do that shit.
Well, let's not speak about Ghost too much. But wow. What a series in and of itself, in its own insular sort of orbit. Power really offered something new to our, at least, weekly watching.
It did. It has a lot of love, and I love to see that. You know, it's a really, really good show. If you've not watched it, just get in. You know, you'll be pleasantly surprised at just how amazing and what fucking story building that goes around that, and to even know that there's a spin-off in Ghost that is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Whew, yeah, why not? Both feet dive in.
Absolutely. So let's move into Ghost. There has been 2 seasons of this show, and there's been some big reveals for some of the characters as well. I want to quickly dabble into some themes before we start talking about the characters, because I think, you know, when you talk about the ordering of the shows, you can call them books. You know what? Call them whatever the fuck, because at the end of the day, the input and the output is absolutely fucking brilliant. But, you know, obviously there are a lot of there are a lot of posts on like Black Twitter, like you can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to call this Tommy. Like,
it is Tommy.
But in any case, whatever the packaging is, we fucking love it. So naturally, it made sense that Ghost would, and it does pick up right off of Ghost's death as well. I'm just going to put it out here. You know, there's obviously articles. I don't get it. I love Amari Hardwick. You know, he's safe. He's safe with me. I'm not going to hurt him. Dre Ratimi maybe is a different story. But I don't care for these rumors about Ghost coming back. And I want to talk to you, Mr. Number One fanboy. How do you feel about these rumors about Ghost potentially coming back in some shape or form?
Nah, he's dead. Keep him dead. I think it'll just ruin whatever it is that they've built already. Yeah, I don't see anything that it solves, other than trying to just pull more episodes of Power. Power's done, and it's fine to be done with Power.
Yeah,
because now we have Ghost, Tommy, and
he just got it, Tommy, and Raising Kanan coming out as well.
Yeah, and hopefully Tate as well. You know, hopefully it's not scrapped. And that's wonderful, because you're building on everything that Omari laid out. You know, so he's not forgotten.
Yeah,
you know. We still think about Ghost every time we see fucking Tariq.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all there. And especially seeing the mannerisms of Ghost in Tariq.
Oh, well, that's the first theme I wanted to come to. Closing the chapter and I guess opening a new one for Tariq. Legacy. I want to talk about legacy. And, you know, there's a lot of whiplash, because if you would listen to our Power episode and then this one, it makes no sense why we fucking love this little thing so much. But that goes back to the penmanship of Courtney A. Kemp and the staff, because there was no way, there was zero, there was nada, there was no chance that we ever would have, if there was any sort of character that we would have turned around on, I feel like you would have loved Tasha. You would have fallen in love with Tasha sooner than you would have had any sort of resonance for Tariq. And again, that just goes back to the quality of this fucking show, because where we got from A to B was a whole journey.
Yeah, it's like someone telling you, you know what? in Game of Thrones, we'll get Joffrey to kill Jon Snow at the end, and then we'll get Joffrey his own show. I'll be like, yeah, no one's gonna want to watch that shit.
Are you looking forward to House of Dragons?
No, I'm not really. I think my expectations just bloody lowered. So I'm just gonna go in without any.
We had our heart open for power, so maybe House of Dragons, you don't need to imagine the dragons anymore.
Oh. Okay, Thunder. I will just say that I did not expect to see Tariq grow that much.
Yeah.
Or even because I went very skeptical. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna watch it because Cordelia Camp, we love her work and see where it goes. I wasn't even gonna think that after the first episode or the second episode.
We weren't expecting to be bored in. But we had a lot of tax.
But at the end of the first episode, I was like, okay. What sorcery is this? What voodoo is this?
Well, I think it's like, if I can go back to your Succession sort of reference, there's a lot of big man talk, right, out of Kendall's character in Succession. And I think you could also lend that to Tariq as well, in the sense that, he's saying all of this shit is wrong, all of this shit is bad, but it's all under the guardianship of his dad, whether it be Logan Roy, whether it be Ghost, right? And I think, not in a toxic way, just as like a grown adult, not as a grown man, but like with Tariq's character, how he dealt with the fallout, whether it be the death of his father at his own hands, whether it be the conditions in the will of him having to go to uni and to complete his education in order to satisfy the criteria of the will, whether it be having to find money to pay for Davis McLean's, legal fees, whatever it was, every challenge that was thrown at Tariq, he handled it. He fucking handled it. Like, I can't even fucking explain it, but I'm getting emotional now just thinking about the growth of Tariq's character, because a lot was happening with him, and, he was running around with Kanan as well, doing his pre-gangster, post-gangster shit with Kanan. And a lot of it, what you could kind of say, was just him being a young kid trying to navigate the world. And even though he is a young kid when we start off in Ghost, he is owning a lot of the responsibility, whether it's responsibility that was passed down of the death or the murder of his dad at his own hands, or whether it's all of the periphery, sort of external factors that are thrown his way. He is owning it and he's taking care of it. And I think that there's absolutely a lot of respectability in that.
Yeah, there is. And I think it's good to see sort of the contrast in how he would deal with situations he found himself in, and how Ghost would do. Because there's that juxtaposition where we know how Ghost would have done this shit. And it's interesting to see the deviations in what Tariq does and how he wants to handle things going forward.
But I think also at the same time, the time that we meet Ghost in power, he had already been hardened by the streets many decades over.
True.
Like Tariq is just coming into his own now. So it will be interesting. It will be interesting to see how much more jaded he is by the experience, or does he find, another way? Like, fuck Jabari. Like, fuck Jabari and the clicker claims. And we're going to get to Jabari, but I fucking and I've been talking about this of many episodes recently, of treating people like they're animals in the zoo. You can do that to your own people, because that's what Jabari was doing. He was profiting off the trauma and experiences of other people. Fuck off.
He wasn't even writing his own shit at that point.
No. Call him Drake's team, because he was the ghostwriter all along. But the legacy is really interesting. Do you think, do you feel like it's organic, the growth that we've had with Tariq?
It's super organic, and I think that's what I didn't expect. I thought it'll be forced. I thought it'll be, we're doing a Tariq spin-off now, so we better love him.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Yeah.
With we like you said, we picked up straight off from where Power finished off.
Yeah. And
to see him navigate that world and find himself in situations that are not, are super tough for any kid, and he still wants to take care of Yaz at the end of it as well. So it's the fact that it's organic is what makes it unbelievable. Or I didn't even think there was a possibility of it happening that way.
Yeah. And it will be interesting, please give us many more. I guess if we're going to have a ghost, well, who knows? We might even see a young ghost in Raising Kanan, right? But it would be interesting to see how he was at Tariq's age, because we know how Ghost was at the start of Power. And I guess we can only imagine, sins of the father and all that. It'll be interesting because, Tariq still has that sort of compassion, right? Even if we'll come to Raising Kanan, but, Kanan is a very impenetrable character in Power. Same as Jukebox as well. But the first season of Raising Kanan, he's just a fucking kid.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking kid. And, that's what I'm talking about. So we're seeing Tariq as we've grown to love him now. But I guess we can only imagine as more shit gets thrown at him, how that's going to calcify his character and I guess who he was all along, or who the streets made him to be. Right. So that's very interesting. I love that we are loving the shows. I want to move into the next one because we talked about Ghost and we talked about Tommy. I want to talk about Tariq and Brayden. That kind of felt like an out of the nowhere sort of brotherhood to me, but it definitely grew on me.
It did, because we get to see Brayden and Chote in Power, right?
Yeah.
And then they come back in Ghost, and I see the friendship developing. I see that there's something forming bigger. I can see a mini Ghost and Tommy.
Yeah.
And I was in for that.
Wasn't there also a part of you that's like, oh, because he's a white guy, they're going to make him a Tommy?
Part of it was that way, but I think Brayden is likable enough because he's navigating it completely differently.
Absolutely.
He's not Tommy. He's the farthest thing can be from a Tommy.
Yeah.
So I think that dynamism is also good. And I also see him sort of grow into this world where he was like, we'll just sell drugs and see how it is. And he wanted to do more.
He's proved his muster so many times.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one of the most pivotal moments of this brotherhood between Tariq and Brayden. In the courtroom, I did not know, right? When we're talking about whether Brayden is going to continue to uphold the establishment, i.e. his family, i.e. the Western legacy, or whether he was going to be there for Tariq. What did you think? Because you said that it's understandable if Dre did it because it was in his character, it was in his nature. I love Brayden and I don't think it would have been in his character, but again, via Succession, you kind of understand the chokehold that Daddy Money has. So I don't know. I would have been very upset, but I also would have understood if Brayden wasn't there to hold it down for Tariq. What were your thoughts before, I guess, that scene came into fruition?
No, I would have understood it as well, just because Brayden made it sure to tell Tariq multiple times, don't fucking do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this to my family.
Yeah.
In as much as my dad would land okay or whatever, just don't. It's and I felt that once that friction, because it started a friction starting building where Tariq and Brayden weren't really sharing everything.
Yeah.
And it seemed sus because Brayden knew something was up, but he didn't know what's going on.
Kane was coming by and having joyrides with Brayden. At that point, he's in. Whether you want him in or not, he's in.
True. And I think once they experience that friction, and then those, oh man, he's got to go to a courtroom.
Yeah.
I was like, he's definitely going to throw Tariq under the bus.
Yeah.
Which I would have understood. I would have been happy, but I'm like, what else can you expect?
Yeah. No, but then I also wouldn't want him around anymore.
True.
Friends and lovers. Brayden, fictional, albeit or otherwise, is the perfect example of holding your privilege and being a fucking ally. Mm-hmm. Because it's if we're talking about literal survival and inconvenience of blackface photos that they took themselves, to me, it's a non-contest, right? At the end of the day, you're still going to be rich. At the end of the day, you could probably, all the wieners of the world, once, twice a wiener. What really are the repercussions? You know what I mean? When you're powerful and you have the money and the systems exist for you to thrive, what really are the punishments?
True.
It was a beautiful moment. And again, I wasn't expecting Brayden to go for bat to Tariq, but now I just want them both more than ever to succeed.
Oh, me too.
I just want to touch on Tariq, Tasha, and Yaz for a second.
Okay.
It's interesting that Tariq has to pick up the pieces of Yaz and her situation, even with the grandma, which I really don't want to... Between her and Patrice Woodbine, like I just...
They can get in the bin.
They can all get in the bin.
Oh, Patrice Woodbine, bloody hell. Oh my God.
She's keeping your dreams spicy, eh?
Oh man, that yeah, I'm not forgetting that talk anytime soon.
Yeah. OT's gonna have a separate Sandman spin-off. The Woodbine Chronicles. But it's so beautiful, and it's so heartening to see Tariq choose his family on more than one occasion, you know, because I know you're the pro Ghost camp, so you're not going to say anything bad about Ghost, but the fact that he didn't really leave enough to set up his family for whenever his inevitable, because you know, when you're in the game, it's going to happen eventually. There were many times where it was a bit touch and go with Ghost's mortality, albeit his name, pardon the pun.
No, it was super understandable. It's not going to leave anything to Tasha. That much was clear.
But why did Yaz have to be the shrapnel?
Because Tasha should have done enough to secure her future. Like, Tasha's been in the game. Tasha is not some bloody... Tasha is not some innocent person you think that is...
She's in Witsec. Leave her the fuck alone.
But I'm glad that Tariq is super hard on trying to get Yaz and protect Yaz and be with Yaz. You know, it's admirable.
It is admirable, absolutely. Speaking of admirable, and you also touched on it when we were talking about power. Ghost wanted a different life. Although his upbringing wasn't set up for him to have the life that he wanted. True. So that's why we have Tariq going to Choate. That's why there's a stipulation in the will about him furthering his education in his canonical studies. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? If we think about Ghost always talking about what he wanted, what he wished for his son, him like getting rich or getting legit or die trying. He just died instead. Like, what are your thoughts on this particular theme between Ghost and Tariq?
Yeah, I think it's sad that Ghost didn't have that life, but you know what? He tried to make it out the way he only knew how, and it didn't work out because people had their claws and people wanted to live in a certain lifestyle, which is sad. But I think Tariq, he has the capability to shape his own future, you know, to make it how he wanted it to be. If he wanted to secure his life so that he can get out, pretty sure it'll be easier for him.
But don't you think it was a bit too naive of Ghost? Like, because obviously getting an education is very important. But don't you think it's naive of Ghost to think that in these sort of spaces there wouldn't have been criminal activity, especially drugs?
No, you can have all the criminal activity, you can get whatever, but it's getting your foot in the door, which is most important.
What are you talking about? Him and Tariq and Brayden are running a whole drug game.
They are, but they're going to get a degree at the end of it. Bro.
Through pole or pipe, right, OT?
Yeah, you're gonna get a degree.
Yes.
So they're gonna be stacking papers, but they still have that, you know, business cred out there, legit.
No, but what I'm saying is there was a naivety that Ghost had that if he, like, in educated spaces, that there isn't fuck shit going on.
No, I don't think he thought
in political spaces there isn't fuck shit going on.
No, I don't think he was stupid. I don't think he was string a bell thinking, oh, these politicians don't fucking suck ass. I don't think it was anything like that. I think he just knew the importance of having that paper and being legit because he struggled. People always saw him as a thug. He did not want...
You sure it's not because he was like closed fist punching everyone?
No, because people always saw him for his background and that's all he was. And he tried so hard, even with Truth. People just saw it as, oh, Truth is not legit. It's just some gangster probably washing money off it. When he fought so hard to make it legit. But at the end of the day, his background is what people saw. For Tariq, he wanted different. You get that degree, that's your background.
But you think him being one of the few black people at a prestigious college, he wasn't already getting attention?
It doesn't matter.
All right.
The struggle will always be the struggle. But at the end of the day, you sell your drugs in Compass, but you still have that paper. When you go out there and you start a business, no one's going to think, oh, did you sell drugs when you're in Compass? No. People are going to be like, oh, this kid went to some prestigious Ivy League school, and that's it. That's the bottom line. Anything else or whatever experience you'd have he didn't send him there to fucking sing Kumbaya or join a glee club. No.
I think you're living in Braden's world too much, because I think more people are like Trace and not Braden.
I'm just saying, you do whatever shit you want to do. And I think that's one of the things when I was growing up was like, you know what? You gotta do whatever the fuck you want to do with your future, but go to uni, get that paper, and then you can do whatever fuck you want. And that's what I did.
You working on your screenplay or?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about the kingpins, and I guess the way that Ghost is set up, the kingpins that we have is Lorenzo, who's currently incarcerated, but then we have Monet, who would you say now, like now that we're 2 seasons deep, who would you say was in charge? Would you say Lorenzo was still in charge?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Lorenzo controlled the shit out of everything.
Monet talked a lot of big man shit, but she was really...
The minute she went into that cell, bro, she bent over so quickly. Bloody hell.
Don't you dare speak about Holy Mary like that. How dare you?
No, it was wild, wasn't it?
No, yeah.
Out there,
okay.
she was like, even to her kids.
Yeah.
You know?
There was no warmth. There was no love there.
Diana would say, good morning, mom. And Monet would have the fucking energy of...
Oh, the meme factory? The meme factory of Ghost? Oh, wow.
You'd see the dynamic once she was talking to Lorenzo. I'm like, wait, is this the same person?
Yeah, no, I get it. Lorenzo was absolutely in charge.
The minute you saw that, you knew Lorenzo is definitely in charge. Doesn't matter where the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And even when he got out of jail, the panic, that family was like, oh man, the kids are the only people that were happy.
Yeah. Because she was trying to make moves without him. That's the thing, right? So let's talk about the Tejadas. We've kind of already given a bit of a tasting. Messy. I pretend to speak Spanish, and I feel like Tejadas means messy because, man, to be fair, it wasn't Lorenzo. It was all really Monet.
Monet's the architect of the mess.
Oh man, but we have such a stacked cast, in Ghost. Obviously, Mary J. Blige. It was nice seeing Woody McLean, our Bobby Brown. Like, it was just nice seeing him fuck shit up on this show. But I guess with Monet, I guess it was interesting, and it's in no way, slut shaming or anything. But it was interesting the way she ascertained her power with the power of the pussy. Because we saw that with the cop.
Yeah.
We saw that absolutely with Mecca. And like you said, with the conjugal visit. We saw that absolutely. But you know what? And same thing with Raquel in Raising Kanan. You use the tools you have, friends and lovers.
Get yours.
I don't know. It's like if I just leave my love for Mary J. Blige to the side, Monet was not running a tight ship.
Nah.
But I think that if she had just been an efficient 2IC, I think everything would have run very smoothly. I think the complications started to arise when she was out and stepping trying to make moves without Lorenzo.
No, I think it started when she started castigating Kane to the side.
Okay,
you know your kids. You know your kids. Kane is a fucking loose cannon.
Yeah.
You cannot... He's the only one. If you had to do that to Drew, fine. Drew has some fucking mental faculties to think things through before he acts. Kane, he's all emotion up in there. He would do shit just because he's angry.
But do you feel like there's something that, like, I feel like there's something more than that. Like this, I wouldn't say it's a hatred that Monet has, but there's something about Kane that she's like, do you think it's because it's her firstborn with Lorenzo and she never really felt like she loved Lorenzo? Like, what do you think it is?
I don't even know. Lorenzo doesn't even like Kane. Did they adopt Kane? I don't know.
I think he was the product of the Bobby Brown mounting of a ghost.
No, probably. Fucking hell. None of them like Kane.
That's true.
Kane is only close to Drew and Diana.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that talk to him as if he's fucking human.
True.
Monet treats him like a gangster.
Yeah.
Not
but
even a son.
But if Lorenzo was on the inside, like Kane kind of became what Monet needed him to be.
Exactly.
And now you hate him for it.
Yeah. He's exactly what you made him.
Yeah.
Don't pretend.
Yeah.
You know, every shit he's doing right now is because of fucking Monet.
Absolutely.
So when you've created this monster and
Yeah.
now you're not happy with him and
Yeah.
you're like, let me toss him to the side because he's doing exactly what I taught him to do.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. And then you rely on Drew, who's supposed to be this fucking gangster.
But he was insulated, so he
Exactly.
never had to make those tough decisions.
Because Kane was always there to protect those fucking
Thank
idiots.
you. Thank you.
Fucking hell. Kane has had to do all the heavy lifting so that Diana and Drew could have this insulated life.
Absolutely.
And now they want, because Lorenzo wants Drew to lead the pack because he thinks Drew is smarter. But every decision that Drew has made.
Oh, he's led with his dick.
Exactly.
He's just led by the dick.
Oh, man.
I don't think he's any better. But I guess just while we're talking about Kane, do you think, because he is very much from the factory of Tommy, like, do you think he could be the head of?
He will never be the head.
No, but I'm asking you personally. We know he's never going to. That's very clear. You just mentioned both parents don't love him. But do you think Kane could be? Or do you think
I think it's too erratic.
I think he represents what the streets have been, not what they
Yep.
are or what they will be.
Yep. He's not exactly Marlo Stanfield. He's out there trying to cause havoc every time you know.
He's kind of like Michael from Snowfall,
Yeah.
who we see in Raising Kanan.
So I don't think he'd be able to lead. I think that's up to Drew or even bloody Diana. But wow, that family came crumbling down faster than Kevin Spacey's House of Cards.
Wow. Thank you for tainting the universe. But I do love Kane. Like, I just love Kane. And again, I kind of see similarities between him and Tommy. So maybe that's why I really love him. In any capacity, he's going to thrive. Like, in any capacity, Kane's going to thrive. Because you know why?
He looks after number one.
Yeah, because he's not waiting on the love from his mummy and daddy.
No, he wants that love.
But he's not going to get it.
He continually seeks that love from Monet. He lays down receipts.
Monet was so mad when Drew got shot.
Yeah, and then you blame Kane for it.
Yeah.
Kane, who said, I would have been there to take that, or even to protect them from that.
Yeah.
But it's you, Monet, who told me to fucking get out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, Monet was everything that happens bad to Drew or Diana. It's Kane's fault.
But even if he's a loose cannon, you need to keep him in the camps. Because he's going to go and cause like shit outside of the camps.
Yeah, at least pretend you listen to the guy.
Yeah.
Listen to his ideas and say, give it some thought.
Yeah.
Take a night. Pretend as if you're going to think about it.
Oh, and Gennaro from Gomorrah as well. Very similar sort of origins as well. Drew, I kind of don't really care about Drew, to be honest. He kind of reminds me, if we're allowed to talk about Jesse Smollett, he reminds me of his character in Empire.
Wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just wallowing around. Like, are we gonna do the damn thing, or are we gonna do the damn thing? That's kind of how I feel about Drew. Like, I understand that there should be a space for love, but Kane ain't waiting on love.
It's about the game.
Do you have any thoughts, hopes, or predictions for Drew's character?
He's gonna end up killing his boyfriend because Lorenzo will tell him to.
Yeah.
And it's gonna spawn him, and he's gonna go down a whirlwind.
Pacino in Heat, you can't have collateral. If you're in the game, you can't have collateral. And I think, like, it's unfortunate, but I think Drew needs to learn that lesson. And unfortunately, like you're saying, he's gonna learn it in a very, very sad way.
Yup.
But I don't think he's fit to lead either.
Nah, he's not.
But then that leaves us with Diana.
Oh, daddy's little girl.
But do you think she's capable of leading?
I think she...
By default, because of the other two?
Yeah, I feel like she has the capacity to do that.
She has a level-headed.
Yeah, and I think, and this is where Monet bloody infuriates me. You have kids who are in the game.
Yeah.
And you keep them so far out.
Yeah.
You don't share anything. Give them fucking crumbs. Tell Diana why she can't get Lorenzo out of jail.
And we're in the 2020s, right? Why is she acting like she can't go to get an education?
Yeah.
What is this?
Bloody hell, man. Just give her something.
Yeah.
Give her anything. And she would not have done whatever the fuck she would have done.
Yeah.
Annoying, man. Every fucking issue that happened to the Tejadas, there's no one else to look at but Monet.
Follow the Monet, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just like, it's interesting to see Diana. I'm really starting to root for her, especially leading up to the end of season 2, because she's really proving her muster as well. And, you know, there was a lot of her kind of waiting for the affections of Tariq, which I think will always kind of be there. He kind of inherited his fuckboy shit from his daddy. But I think Diana is definitely one to watch.
So I think, are we going to talk about the Tahada's Red Wedding?
Again, friends and lovers, we were watching recaps of Power Season 6 as well as Ghost. And as soon as we saw Zeke's face, how are you going to be a grown 23, 24-year-old thinking you're 19 years old? Like, I know it's not his fault. I know it's not his fault. And I know it's not funny, but that's around the age we start taking fish oil tablets. Like, how do you not have some hours on the dance floor and start your knees? You don't have those mega knees anymore, Zeke. I'm sorry. I know it's not funny, but...
No, it's funny. Wow. I think, you know what? Man, Zeke, they casted him perfectly. Fucking hell.
Oh, man. Diana. And it might just be because she's Monet's daughter, like whether she wanted to or not, but she got that sharpshooter sharpness, man.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because she just really, like, I don't know. I'm all about airing out and, you know, making sure that as a family unit you're talking about shit. But I don't know. The way she went about it, what do you think?
Yeah, she was about chaos. There was nothing else to that.
Yeah.
Wow. She wanted everything out.
Yeah.
She threw the linens and the panties and the everything in, exposing it to the world.
But that wasn't her panties to throw.
It doesn't matter. She grabbed them still. Wow. Wild.
Would you say that that was one of the most surprising reveals in television we've had in a long time?
Yes. I think that was one of the most chaotic things I've seen, the most intriguing things I've seen in a while.
Because obviously there are layers to this. I think there's a part of us that kind of had an inkling that Monet was the mother of Zeke.
Yeah, that was clear.
I think it was there if you wanted to, even before Mecca said our son, maybe you could think that. But the bombshell to me was his age.
Yeah.
especially when Monet's like, to Carrie, like, stop running around with this young little boy. I think they're in the hospital together when they were born, mate.
Wild. Oh man, Zeke. He was so unassuming.
Yeah.
He was just sitting there on the table looking dumb
He just wanted to play his b-ball, man.
Oh, you mean I'm not 19? Out of everything. Oi. I love that scene. I think everything unfolding and everything being out there was good. That relationship was never gonna be mended. I think it was you've lied to Zeke for 24 years. There's no coming back from that.
Why stop at 24? Let's head to 28.
And that was the expectation.
Yeah.
And I think it was wrong for Monet to use Zeke as her ticket out of the game.
Yes.
That shit is fucked up.
Yeah.
Nah. Especially when you know he's not 19 and he's 24. Come on now. People thinking that you've got an engineer in the basketball court when it's fucking a grown-ass man.
I'm glad for a show that has a lot of quality and, you know, in all the best points, it delivers what great dramas should do. I love that it really had such a ridiculous...
Yeah, I think even the fact of how Zeke fucking died was hilarious.
Stop.
Of course, that's where he's gonna die.
Stop it. Well, I don't even know if we can stop laughing, but let's talk about his final moments, because I think we both agreed, even though we had to pause and rewind like 10 times with Diana spilling the tea on his age, that final scene, because I think even before we got to the final scene, like we both made comments about the fact that there's really nothing left for Zeke's character. Like, unfortunately, as a character in regards to the overall plot. He's served his purpose, but he doesn't necessarily have a lot more to do.
Right.
So he doesn't have a lot more to do in the show, but I wasn't expecting him to die that episode.
No, I saw that coming. I was like, yeah, bro, you've served your purpose. There's nothing else you can do on this show. Your relationship with Monet is non-existent. Lorenzo's not going to accept you in the household.
Yeah.
And
wait, can we make it clear that Lorenzo never knew?
Yeah, Lorenzo never knew. He was as shocked as everyone else.
Okay. I just
He just didn't have his dumb face on when like Zeke had. No, I can't. And Mecca, like, we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Especially for you to be a kingpin snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting the life you want.
But I also think, power of the pum pum and all that. But there's absolutely a risk with the power of the pum pum because I think, Monet thought she could dabble in both worlds with Lorenzo and Mecca, but it's like you can't do that. Like, or at least you can, but you can't choose the consequences of the power of the pum pum.
Yeah, come to think of it, Monet has a type, eh?
Even the cop, right?
Yeah.
You think Zeke had a type?
Zeke thought he was getting the cougars, but nah, bro.
Oh, man.
Both the same age.
Pour one out for our homie Zeke, but fucking hell, you should. At that point in your big age.
But it's sad. Imagine thinking you're 19, living as if you're 19, or living as if you're younger, by 5 years. Only to realize, man.
But I think
the underdevelopment. Jesus Christ.
But there was I do feel sorry for Zeke, but there was a added layer of sadness when Kane acknowledged that he wasn't the oldest. Because I think as much as, he was like, Monet gave him nothing, Lorenzo gave him nothing, he felt secure in his title as the oldest.
Oh shit, I even forgot. He was older than Kane.
It was Stop making it funny again. No, because there was a moment where Kane was looking at Monet being like, I'm not the oldest or something like that. Yeah. And that was very heartbreaking, you dickhead.
Oh, man. Jeez. There's some serious underdevelopment in Zeke, man. Like, wow. He lived thinking he was 5 years younger. And I guess the body doesn't know what the mind doesn't, Hey. When he got to puberty before everyone else by some years... He should have gotten hairs like when there's still babies out there. He didn't know. He didn't sense.
I didn't know.
My voice is breaking while still people are screeching in this. Nothing.
I'm surprised that we got this far in this recording and we haven't gotten me thirsting over Method Man. We had a double Method Man extravaganza with Belly as well as the Concrete Cowboy, and your Zeke antics has distracted me from Method Man.
No, Zeke just baffled me, man.
He did.
He should have been cautious. He should have been wondering what the fuck ages ago.
Yeah, 5 ages ago.
Man, wild, man, wild.
Wild times. Let's go to Davis McLean. Obviously, we can talk about Sax. Jenny Sutherland was interesting because, again, we established that Sax forks.
Mm-hmm.
And even she became quite useful later on in the series, at least to our purposes, because we love Tariq and Brayden. And also Tamika. Tamika was definitely an OG. So I want to talk about the legality of it all.
No, it was good to see McLean do his stuff. I think seeing him being all dirty and unapologetically so was good.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had a thing with Carrie as well.
Yeah.
So he's been around. He knows people.
Yeah.
He knows people know he ain't shit, but he doesn't care. At the end of the day, you can't prove that he's done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all about that life. He's all about that paper.
He's all about that cheese, if you pardon the pun.
Mm-hmm. And it was good to see him get Sax to join his team because, man, in as much as you might not like Sax, he is effective as fuck.
Oh, he's fucking effective. And it was interesting, a couple of times, Sax would make a comment about whether this was right or whether this was justice. And McLean's like, I don't care, motherfucker, they're paying.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what my client did. I'm going to defend them.
Yeah, and I think that's where we also want to see Sax evolve, where he turns off the public defenderness.
I think he always will be, though.
Yeah, he's not a government worker anymore. Once he's turned private, he's He's with McLean. He needs to switch that off. I think he'll be fucking unstoppable if he does.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's going to be unstoppable no matter what. He used his, was it his niece? To get close to Brayden. So he's not opposed to throwing people under the bus.
No, he's not. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. That's wild.
Do you think that, I think maybe like, do you think that was one of the first sort of testings for Brayden?
Yeah, it definitely played a big part because we saw at the end of it, Brayden didn't say shit.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of a tussle because, Brayden wanted to get his and, it kind of felt like everything was about Tariq, right? Like, why can't this girl be interested in me?
Yeah, I think once let's circle back to the friendship a bit. I think the biggest test for me for Brayden and Tariq's friendship is Lauren.
Okay.
Because we know Brayden left Lauren. She was like, yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to let you go. But we know what happened afterwards with Effie.
Okay.
Effie.
Okay, but are we saying, and I see you distracting from my method, man, but anyway, let's go where we're going. Are we saying that Lauren is dead?
Lauren is dead. Effie killed Lauren. There's no way Effie leaves Lauren alive because Effie has it in her head that Tariq is mine to get Tariq's love without any distractions.
I don't think it's that.
I think it's that. There's nothing else.
I don't think it's that. Think about Gemma from The Shy. Like, there's a difference in upbringing. There's a difference in privilege. There's a difference of life experience. And Effie understands that Lauren knows too much, but she doesn't know enough to curtail her own mortality as well as Tariq's. She unknowingly entrapped Tariq in that recording. That Lauren wasn't good for the operation.
She wasn't good for the operation, but she got out. I think there's some Glenn Close jealousy going on between Effie and Lauren.
Why don't you ever talk about jealousy when we're talking about the men?
Who's jealous?
You just said Effie was jealous. That's why she got rid of Lauren.
Jabari is fucking jealous. There you have it.
Okay, cool.
The crew has it.
The dickhead over here has it. No, but I think you're simplifying it because Effie understands that you need to not have any loose ends. So she actually did Tariq a kindness. I don't care for the fact that you're simplifying it of the boy.
I think it's both. I think it can be both though.
Nah, soz, bro.
All right. But I think that was the biggest test. If Brayden went through and killed Lauren, I think that friendship with Tariq is dead. They're never coming back. That's like Tommy wanting to follow Tasha around the world trying to kill her. Okay. He made a good decision to walk away from that situation. That was the biggest test in my opinion. That would later come to find out the repercussions.
So are you saying for real, Lauren is dead?
I don't see how she lives with Effie around, especially with Effie making some weird ass faces. Nah, I know she definitely did something.
Yeah, but I guess again we go back to like unless we see them die on screen, unless it's Ghost, but unless we see them die on screen, they're never really dead. I think it also depends on, does Lauren being dead serve more of the purpose than her being alive and coming back? Because that would be an interesting arc because again, like Gemma from The Shy, she's never really been tested. She never really will ever understand what Tariq has gone through. Not to say that Effie fully understands what Tariq has gone through, but you can see there's some sort of overlap. There's some sort of filling in the gaps, right? This might turn Lauren into a villain story.
Yeah, because at the end of it, she thinks Tariq set her up. You would too. Tariq gives you some go bag, tells you to go with some random guys, and then those people that Tariq told me to go with try to kill me. Yeah, there's only one deduction to be made from that. So yeah, Tariq is definitely in the crosshair if Lauren is still alive.
Okay.
Because you can't explain that shit away.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Season 3, which I believe just finished wrapping up, but obviously it takes time for it to come out in post-production and be released. But it'll be interesting. I think Lauren staying alive will be more interesting from a story point of view than her being dead. But then her being dead means that Effie needs to deal with the repercussions of Tariq's reaction to that. So there's obviously, but then he would still react to the fact that she attempted to do something even if she's alive. So anyway, it's going to be very, very, very interesting.
It sure is.
Well, I guess let's stay in our canonical studies. Jabari, thoughts on Jabari? I know we touched on him a little little bit. But what do you think about him? Is he dangerous, or is he just a harmless parasite?
He's fucking dangerous. He's the worst kind there is.
Right answer.
You know, he's there. He knows how it is. Like he didn't like Tariq the minute Tariq walked into the door.
Oh, absolutely.
And it wasn't because Tariq, like he's fucking Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah. Or Reggae Jean Page's most notable role, Chicken George.
Yeah, he just fucking hates black people.
Yeah. like he treats other black people the way white people look at him. Mm-hmm. But they're not the reason they're looking at you that way.
Bruh, dig deep.
Yeah.
It's wild, like, because everything that else he does is all self-serving.
Yeah.
You know, he wants this toxic relationship with Carrie.
When he wants it.
Yeah. And then goes on and becomes jealous because Carrie's seeing someone else.
Yeah.
You know?
Sounds like Ghost, but anyway.
And then to even think that Tariq was the one, like Tariq was was at fault for everything.
Yeah.
Everything pointed to Tariq. He deserved his ending.
There was a lot of work he needed to do within himself, because you're right, he was projecting a lot on Tariq.
Yeah, and then take your bullet, mate. Don't start crying. This is not you. How do you know him? You've been saying he's this bad motherfucker all this time. Live by your word.
Yeah. Yeah, because the caricature you were painting him as was exactly what you got in the end.
Yeah, stop trying to pretend as if, oh no.
He became the beast that you created in your mind. So what the fuck is wrong with that? And I think a lot of the things that we don't agree with, something that we do agree with in this household, is when you have characters meeting their end, just fucking accept it.
Yeah, like don't try and persuade Tariq, calling him, this is not you and shit, when you've been painting him one way.
Yeah.
You know, take it. Just, you know what? Be like, fuck you, guy. I'll come and haunt you. You know?
I didn't like him.
Yeah.
I feel like if Ghost did become educated and became a lecturer, he would be Jabari.
Nah.
Yeah, go on.
Nah.
Go on.
You're just drawing straws right now. Nah.
Anything you want to say about Carrie?
I felt sorry for how she died.
Yeah.
But everything in between, I was frustrated at. Like, she didn't deserve that.
But she got what I didn't like about her, and I guess maybe this is where her and Jabari did the Avatar tentacle and tethering together, was as soon as she felt like her back was against the wall, she threw Lauren under the fucking bus.
She was ready.
I didn't like that. I wouldn't say it was like, I wouldn't say that she felt like the way that Jabari felt about black people, but we had a vulnerable young black woman and she chose to throw Lauren under the bus to try and save herself, even though she was tangibly culpable.
I wouldn't say she's like Jabari just because she tried to actually help Tariq a lot. You know, she went out of her way to try, and she saw a lot of the shit that Tariq had gone through and felt like, okay, I need to take special care here. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, you know, and I understand where she was.
Okay, well then she's not for women then.
But towards the later stages when that stupid cop came into the laugh and started pushing her, when she was up against it, that's when she was like, yeah, I'm going to be all for myself. You know, that's when she chopped Lauren. That's where she was like,
I don't think that was right.
Yeah, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. But up until that point, she tried to do everything right, you know. And if Tariq indeed was at fault for anything, she found out Tariq killed Jabari. And anyone in that fucking position, you'd want to turn that in.
Nah.
If you're not for the crime.
No.
If you're not in the game, that's shit, man. I can't blame Carrie. I can't blame Carrie for trying to do that. She was just trying to do the right thing. She just got real quickly.
Well, I don't agree with a lot of what you said, but what we can say is that she wasn't a predator because they were probably the same age with Zeke.
Yeah, she's got that crossed off her list.
But yeah, Monet did her dirty, but you know, if without getting morbid, but I guess from the point of like storytelling, at least we saw Monet do something and get her hands dirty. Because I think a lot of the time she just waited for Kane to do that shit.
Yeah, true.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot, but I do want to talk about Tate for a little bit. I do hope we do get some sort of, presence. I do want a spin-off, but it was nice to have him in Ghost, and I want to see more expanding, whether it's a spin-off or whether it's more in Ghost season 3. How do you feel about Tate as a character?
I don't think I learned anything new about Tate here that I didn't already know.
But we got more screen time.
We saw him. We throw his brother under the bus. Like, that's Tate. he will do anything to get himself an advantage or to serve himself.
Okay.
And that's that's why it would be so interesting to see how he got to be like that, because we know he pulled some shit.
Yeah. I think it brings an interesting sort of element with him in politics and his brother being in the police as well. Like, I think that's going to be quite interesting to dissect the layers, in the upcoming Ghost season. But, there's a respectability that I'll always have for Tate, and I really want to see more of him.
100%.
How was this first iteration of Power August for you, OT?
Loved it.
Well, we usually finish off in a segment we call For Your Reference, but because this is a highly energized Power August we've got going on, our recommendations would be Power, the TV show, Ghost, Raising Kanan, and Tommy. Force or Tommy?
Tommy.
If you'd like to know where OT's Power is on Twitter and Instagram, we're at For Your Pod.
Write us an email at hello@podcast.com.
We're also on Rest in Peace, Stay in Peace, So I Can Live in Peace Ghost podcast if you'd like to leave a rating and review. And we'll see you guys next week.
Check your birth certificates in case you're 5 years older. See ya.
Take them fish oil tablets, friends and lovers. Bye.